I thought it might be fun to talk a little bit about some of the more technical aspects of sailing, see if that's something that anybody's interested in. Right now, Ariel is on the wind, as you can see from the wind direction indicator. She's sailing fairly close on the wind. See a little bit of flutter in the sail of this poor old bagged out mainsail. And the mainsail is started just a little since the wind's a little light. Wind is running about, I don't know, about maybe 4 or 5 knots, maybe 6. That's apparent wind that you're looking at on the wind speed indicator. As a result, what we've done is to pull the jib in fairly tight. She couldn't come too much more. The staysail also, in order to balance the boat so that she will sail straight ahead without any rudder whatsoever. So the rudder is here's the center spoke right here. So the rudder is just barely off of the center line and providing just a touch of weather helm to keep the boat headed up. And of course the theory is that as she goes along and the wind picks up, she heels. And as she heels, apparent wind, as the wind picks up, apparent wind pulls a little bit further to, in this case, the left, and her heeling moment tends to round her up a little bit, so she actually heads up a little bit, which is of course what she wants to do. When the wind slacks off and the boat comes more upright and she stops heeling, then she has less desire to turn up into the wind, and so the rudder compensates just the right amount. And she has been sailing this way for pretty much an hour now without my touching the wheel even once. And of course that's enhanced by the fact that she's a long keel boat, and that having a long straight keel, she has a tendency to hold her course anyway. But again, the key here is to have her properly balanced. And if you don't get her properly balanced, then she's simply not going to be able to do this at all. But you can see that she's holding her course very well, within probably better than most helmsmen could hold it. And just a slight angle of heel, and sailing herself very nicely. Again, you know, the key here is to get the boat balanced. That means that if she has a tendency to turn up into the wind too much, then you need to either slack the main or tighten up the head sails, but in this case jib and staysail both, or you have to do both. That is to say, slack the main and tighten the head sails up. If she has a tendency to go downwind, then you would do the opposite. You'd ease the head sails and tighten up on the mainsail. And you want to get her so that she's absolutely just right on perfect balance, and then you should be able to pretty well have her sail herself as long as she's on the wind. Now, on a reach or totally on a run, she simply won't do that. But the dynamics work out very nicely anytime that you have the wind on the bow.